Well, hi, everybody. What is going on? Hi, and stuff. Things. Hi, we're on the internet. Hi, I'm Raetog. This is games and things. And
Games and things.
stuff is happening.
Games and things.
Still working out a few little bugs here. OBS crashed on us like 4 times.
You can say
Seamus-
King, sweet.
Looks like my camera crashed too.
It looks like it did, even though it didn't. Looks like everybody's camera. Not all of them either, and they're all the same capture window. Amazing. Amazing.
Mercy's moving, and she's
Okay.
the one that's on the worst connection right
It
now.
is. I just love that, Seamus, that you are frozen in that moment.
That's a fantastic time to be frozen right there, buddy.
Fantastic.
It looks so good.
I can't.
Roller coaster.
I just can't. I can't. This has already been a ride. And here we are. Here we are. Did that work? That didn't work. I love it. I love everything about this. Hi, everybody. I'm Raetog, and I am doing technical bullshit right now. Did that work?
Hey, it's like you're at work.
It is just like I'm at work.
Technical difficulty.
So, hi.
Okay.
Once this gets sorted out, this is going to be my... There we go. Candles are flickering behind Maggie. That's good. Once this
I'm
gets...
still on the roller coaster.
Yeah, I'm going down the list. I'm going down the list. Perfect. That's right when you appeared, Kiso. Right on the money.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Right on the money.
Fantastic.
This is a completely professional organization we got going on right here.
Nails.
Professional. Oh yeah.
Professional.
Professionals.
Got
Fuck-ups.
it. Professional
one that's
fuck-ups is
Easier to see if
accurate.
my background is moving. Here, I'm dancing.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Well, that looks like it's working. Yay. Hi, folks. I'm Raetog. This is my Chicago by Night game. One of our players is actually in Chicago tonight. So that's neat. How do you find
My
the
awkward.
awkward guns? How do you find
Awkward
the
guns.
real life, not World of Darkness, Windy City?
It's cold. It's very cold.
Yeah, it is.
I've enjoyed it so far. It's been a very casual. I haven't really been out so much. As we tried to go across the street and found out that her favorite cafe is closed for the whole week of Thanksgiving, and then we went to Target,
Oh.
which was exactly where I've been over and over and over all week beforehand. And so I haven't really seen much of Chicago yet, but that'll start tomorrow. So
Well, that'll be fun. I might have you take a few reference pictures since we finally have another person there. Matt
Yeah.
Go to the
provided
aviary.
The what?
aviary's a thing.
Hi.
What
Go to
happened?
the aviary. In
Somebody's
Chicago.
camera just died.
Okay.
I believe it was 6.
That was mine.
You're coming back, sort of.
Yep.
It's okay.
Professional streamer.
That was really weird.
Professional.
That's
We're
okay.
professionals.
Mer.
Oh,
Got
Is
him
that
on your
it?
camera.
That's
Just
it.
sitting
the
there
windows
just
don't
eating.
even have to be open to hear the cool Chicago night sounds. The ambulances and fire trucks.
Mhm.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Possibly-
normal Chicago night. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Possibly
Also, it's
the-
been dark since 4 o'clock.
Yeah, that's a thing.
I
That
believe there were
happens.
protests up there this week too. Some of my
That'd be funny.
coworkers got out of the office early because of the protests. So
Interesting.
What were the protests about?
the verdict in Kenosha.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was some of that here too.
Real life politics is fun.
Not as fun as vampire.
politics.
Mm.
Vampire politics, as Roland was trying to tell Mercy, are confusing.
Yes.
It can
It
be.
requires graphs and pie charts and string theory.
I mean, we
It's
have
like,
strings.
look, I don't even know what anything is yet. Let's not go into politics.
You guys heard about that? What happened in Wisconsin, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yesterday.
Yep.
Fucking crazy, dude.
The world
Yeah,
is
if you
a
want to know
crazy
about
place.
vampire politics, ask Maggie. She's probably
Give you a
worse than
crash
she is.
course.
You've got a good teacher if you want politics.
At this
Oh
point,
no, I was being very brief about it. She was like, "Oh my god, you're confusing me."
yeah,
No, he
and
has no idea,
to be clear, he was being quite brief. There are, you know how you can find video essays on pretty much everything on the internet?
Yeah.
There's a lot of that with vampire. Depends on how deep you want to dig. But yeah, for the moment, for our wonderful viewers here, we're going to put a pause on real life politics. Please, probably, unless they come up in game. No real big deal there. But to those of you who are new here, hi. We're a whole bunch of nerds and we like to play vampire games. So I'm going to start like we always do. We'll go all the way camera right with Seamus. Who are you? Who are you playing? And how have you been this week, buddy?
I'm a jackass.
Same.
100% true.
Can
No,
confirm.
100%.
Can
Yeah.
confirm.
Seamus, I'm playing Roland, a Toreador DJ. Overall okay. Personal real life fucking shit. Anyway,
Ain't
but
it?
other than that, fine.
Fair.
Work. Ready for the holiday coming up.
Yeah, that's a thing. Hence the episode title. Isn't that fun?
Mhm.
So, moving down the road, hey Kisogo, who are you? How you been? And who you playing tonight?
Okay, I can only answer those questions. Okay. My name is Kasogo. I have been moderately acceptable. I'm
Moderately
playing-
acceptable.
Moderately
How
acceptable.
standard of you.
Yes, so standard. No, I've been good. Yesterday was my last day working at the place I was working at Ren Fair.
Nice.
Next weekend is the last weekend of fair, and
Before
I
you
am
continue,
going
I
to
gotta
go there.
ask you, what do you do specifically at the Ren Fair? Because
Well-
most of us are Ren Fair nerds.
Okay, so all right. So the past couple weeks I was working there, I work the front, giving people lockers, and
Wow.
it's
Nice.
incredibly boring. Incredibly boring.
Thrilling.
It's so boring.
Way
It's-
to step out of your
here's the
comfort
thing.
zone.
But here's the thing. Okay, well, I was helping out a friend, and I was like, look, listen, I'll help you out for a couple weeks, no big deal, right? And that's not a hard job. It really isn't not a hard job.
No.
And the guy who owns that, he owns like a couple other shops at Fair too, but like, he was telling me how people quit because it was too hard. I was like, how is this hard? People come up, they say, I want a locker. You tell them what the prices are. They say, okay, I want this one. You have them fill out the paperwork. You don't barely have to write anything down. They do most of the writing. Then you go, okay, this is the number I'm gonna give you. I get the key. I give you the key. You give me money. Go away. Bye bye. Like
That's it.
And then you
That sounds
take
so
the paper
hard.
and you put it in a file. Like it's.
Hey, to be fair, I heard you were handing out lager, not
And
lager.
I was like, ooh,
so I
buddy, that's
assumed
like
you
your
were
other
a
job.
bartender also at medieval
no.
times.
No. So I yesterday I told him I was done because next week is the last weekend of fair, and I want to go enjoy myself. I still have to go to Wormwood, which is the craft cocktail
Like-
bar that's at
oh,
Renaissance
okay.
Fair.
Okay.
So I want to go there because a buddy of mine I used to work with at my old bar. He's one of the bartenders there, and I want to go see him.
Nice.
Plus, one of my employees. I told you that one of my employees, his father owns a couple shops there too. He
Mhm.
wants me to help out at his leather shop where I got the boots and the jerkin I showed you.
Oh,
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
there you go.
So I'm gonna help him
Nice.
out a bit. Yeah, we've been talking business and stuff like that. So we got hopefully some exciting stuff to announce soon. We'll see.
That is
Cool.
exciting. That is
Oh, and
exciting.
I'm playing James Kessler. He is,
Oh yeah, this thing that we're doing. It's fine.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
James.
James Kessler. He's a Malkavian. He is a Vietnam vet.
Everyone.
Also, you can find Kasogo on Twitch at Kasogo Plays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's him. Nice little slug there. So, Mizui, how are you doing? How's the adventure in Chicago going? And who are you playing this evening?
I am doing good. The Chicago trip hit me like super fast and hard because like I really thought I had another week.
Say
I
Fast
spent
and
all
Furious.
day- Yeah.
Too fast.
Too fast.
Too furious.
Too furious.
Yeah, so I thought I had a whole other week, and then I did all my packing on Sunday, and now it's Monday, and I woke up at 4 o'clock, and I'm exhausted. But I'm excited to be here, so bear with me while I stumble through the very limited English I have left.
She's like
Um,
this excited to be here, but she is excited to be here.
So
Yeah.
excited.
There's a limit to my excitement, but only because I'm limited by everything at this point. But I am Mrs. Mizui. I am on TikTok Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, doing all the things. And soon I will be moving into my car and doing some urban camping. It's going to be super cool. I'm really excited about it. So follow me for my new adventure as I become a phoenix and rise from the ashes.
That is an awesome fucking way of looking at all of this shit. That is amazing. And everybody in the audience, follow those two. Those two there on Twitch.
No, that one.
Follow them.
Wait.
See the, yeah, that's it.
But I am
follow
playing
this one.
Mercy Grace.
Not this one.
Yeah,
Are
it's
you
fine. The
twitchy?
directions don't matter.
No, I'm not twitchy.
Okay, that's what I thought.
What? Oh, okay.
Usually I have to get medication for that.
I'm playing Mercy Grace. She is a very, very recently turned Bruja vampire. I don't know what that means. I don't know what any of this
Your
means.
sister's name Faith Hope.
I was wondering when this shit would come up.
She hates James.
Not a surprise.
Punk,
Yeah,
clip that.
and,
Clip that.
She's actually recently been hired on to work as the PR manager and promo specialist for Nova. So
You're not the cigar girl.
no,
Well, she likes to cut the tips
No,
off of
people
certain
give-
things.
people give her the cigars. She just accepts them.
She accepts tips.
Completely professional broadcast.
You're
Matt,
goddamn right.
you're goddamn right. Matt, who are you? What are you playing? And how the hell have you been, buddy?
Stressed because of life, and then I remembered that I'm just trying to create an empire in this game, and that's far easier. So, I'm currently playing Magdalena Masters, the Ventru with a heart of solid black coal, and
I was wondering where you're going with that.
yeah, no, there's no shiny metals in there. And yeah, that's pretty much my life these days, is thinking about this to escape reality. So.
And he also
Here I
runs
am.
this sweet ass D&D game on the side that I play in.
If you say so.
I do say so.
I insist.
And Tia, wonderful wife. I know who you are. But tell them who you are.
Really though?
Mm,
Can you say you really know somebody?
Like how well?
Can I? I believe I can.
Like in a biblical sense, or
I mean,
There's
I
only
haven't
so
read the
much you
Bible
can hide
very
online.
much.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
There's only so much you can hide from the internet.
Nothing.
Hi, I'm Tia Noir, or Jen, the wonderful wifey. I play Six the Ghoul, who might have a little side business of her own to deal with, other than
Fuck.
tagging along with this group.
Oh god.
You won't find me on playing any games on online, really, unless Raetog drags me along. And
Saved our asses
Doing
at Back
alright.
for Blood more than once.
Very true and very
Yeah.
Kind
fun.
of bad for blood, fuckers.
Yep.
we'll get
Gotta
good.
play.
You can play too.
We gotta
Come
play.
play with us.
Never invited.
Always
Oh
invited.
God.
We'll fight you next time. And to round out the whole thing, I'm Raetog. I'm running this goofy ass game.
Very serious game.
The
Smart.
hardest job is reining us in.
It's like herding cats. And
It's like whips and collars.
I mean,
Oh no, I
That's-
respond way better to those.
that's not the right page for on this
No.
thing for that. I have one of those, but we're not there yet. If my voice is a little off tonight, or I'm a little weird, it's because I got my booster shot today, so I'm just now starting to
Right.
feel it. So, yeah. So we're gonna
Well,
see
what's
how
really
far
good
we
about
can
you?
get with fun fucking vampire stuff. Yay!
Fun, that kind of stuff.
Well, it's gonna be fun for me. We'll see what happens for the rest of you.
He's being mean again, guys.
You like it.
So, I'm not saying no.
Like 3 or 4 out of 10, something like that.
So what are we doing, Game Master?
What are we doing? I'm reading our intro paragraph so we can get down to it.
Beautiful.
And as I do, we're going to switch to our regular music here. And we shall get
Regularly scheduled music.
regularly scheduled music.
Ooh, Maggie, that's juicy.
Get us started here. That is juicy. So this one is called Holiday Anxiety. So here we go. So Christmas lights are going up all over Chicago. The temperatures have dropped into the usual chill that flows off Lake Michigan and cause all the mortals of the Windy City to bundle up and the kindred to do the same as they try to blend in. Holidays are a difficult time for the undead. Of all the times of the year, vampires are reminded strongly that they're not human anymore. Thanksgiving no longer holds the promise of turkey or stuffing for vampires, and even those that attempt it and have the ability to hold it down for a little bit can't keep up that illusion for long. They're reminded it's an illusion. The spirit of hope is in the air, which usually chafes at the more jaded undead who've lived longer, having to watch mortals sing religious songs of beliefs that they have probably long since abandoned.
Fuckers.
Holidays are for the living, not the dead.
We had our holiday.
Yeah, you did. That makes it hard. Especially for the newer kindred that still have families and friends that they would very much like to see again. But in a world where vampires, werewolves, and all manner of other monsters are real, how does one cope with the holiday season when their lives are more complicated than most humans could ever really understand? So, as we begin tonight, I'm going to ask everybody to do two things. One, everybody needs to give me a rouse check to see if you woke up hungrier tonight than you did the night before. So that's top left on the character sheets. Just one die.
I'm very hungry.
Yeah, Maggie, your hunger increases by 1. Roland, your hunger increases by 1. And everybody else appears to be good because 6 cheats.
Rude.
Not really, she just doesn't have to. Different dietary standards. So, I want to actually go around a little bit tonight, and it is in the world of darkness that we're playing in. Also, the holiday season. And you do see all this merrymaking and joy that you really can't participate in as much as others could. How are you guys dealing with it? How is there anything that you're doing in particular to kind of make up for it? Are you blending in? Are you playing the long game? What's going on and how you guys feel about that?
If nobody has actually thought about that except me, actually for Thanksgiving, what Mercy wants to give to her family is closure. She's technically been missing since the explosion at her last job.
Okay.
And one of the things she was talking to Maggie about how to go about arranging was getting Roland and Six into a room so they could help her stage her own death and, see if we could figure out some documentation from maybe like an unidentified body in the explosion and give her family and friends some closure.
We can run that scene if you would like to do such. Absolutely.
You calling me because I'm a Twitter racist profiling
So
artist?
who-
Yeah, create a death scene.
I mean, you never know.
Make it super Shakespeare, dude. Let's go.
So we're doing that. We are going to go. Mercy will be setting this up in the meeting room of Nova, I assume, because that's like her spot these
Where
nights.
Mercy lives.
Where she lives.
We
She
need to get
hangs
her a
out.
house.
She hangs out there all the
She
time.
lives in a cubby.
She
curls,
lives in a room under my stairs.
curls up in the wine rack.
Who's
Would've
Master
been-
Potter? Like,
Papa T.
Okay, no, okay, that's actually a serious question though. How is Mercy living these nights? How does she do it? Let's go into that because that's an interesting story, I feel.
Sure. So, Mercy. Sorry, I didn't mean to kick my camera. Don't mind me.
Kick it all you want. Show him his boss.
So Mercy is actually fairly comfortable. Maggie has set her up with her own very secure room, um, with a limited number of people who know the access code to get in. She has anything she can ask for, which mostly includes a new wardrobe, just some comfort items in the room, like a bed because it makes her feel normal to get
Okay.
out of bed in the morning instead of to wake up less human ways. Um, and then she spends most of her days in the club. She is working to kind of see what the feel is and what kind of things may be lacking or maybe like helpful. She's noticed that there is some things she's very comfortable adding or working with the other team members of the club to sort out. And it appears that Maggie is fairly hands off in this. She's really put a lot of trust in Mercy, so she's working very, very hard to make sure that she can maintain that trust and comfort.
Okay. So let's
Cool.
go into that a little bit more. You mentioned that you were considering changing Mercy's look a bit.
Yeah.
Was that something that you wanted to unveil this evening, or has that happened yet?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
So right now it's still a little bit vague, but Mercy has always been sort of an artsy, like kind of like tie your hair back with a handkerchief,
Okay.
wear like the poncho covered in paint and jeans with lots of stains on them from her work, with her art materials, unless she was at like a business meeting. But she has been talking to some of the others, specifically Roland, about what kind of ways she can go about protecting her new identity and protecting her family, who may or may not be in danger from the very scary man who escaped on the first night of the game.
The word they keep throwing around about that is Inquisition.
Yes, the Inquisition. There have been a couple of other names thrown at Mercy, but mostly she's held on to the bad guys.
But is anybody expecting Inquisition? Or sorry.
yes,
Nobody.
nobody.
Nobody expects a Spanish
I
Inquisition.
went, the Inquisition.
Are we
Let's
like
begin the
how far in?
Inquisition.
We're at 33 minutes in before a Monty Python reference happened. I'm proud of us.
We're so not. We're so good.
You can tell exactly what era of tabletop gamers we are, and I'm all right with that.
Super
so
cereal.
So serious.
what has Mercy adjusted her appearance to be this evening, as it's Thanksgiving week?
Yes. So she has abandoned her flower child looks. She's going for much more elegance and sleekness, leaning sort of into a darker vibe than she's accustomed to, where before, again, she was like peasant blouses and yellow and sunshine. She's sort of leaning into this nightclub, rough and tumble kind of creature that she's become. So she's wearing some like leather jackets in varying colors. She's really fond of this red one that looks great with her newly dyed hair, um, which now, instead of being a tangle of red curls, is a just a kind of like generic massive brown hair. Um, and she's just kind of leaning into this sort of darker persona as things move forward, so that hopefully, should she accidentally come across anybody who might recognize her, she no longer appears to be Mercy Grace.
You have words. You would have found a few complications doing that. only
Oh,
because of your vampiric condition. You have,
Okay.
but it also is something that you can kind of have fun with should you choose.
Okay.
Has Mercy tried to cut her hair at all?
No? Do
Okay.
you know how long it takes to grow hair like
Fun fact:
Overnight.
overnight, a vampire. Say you shaved your whole head bald. When you wake up the next evening, you are right where you were when you died. It'll come back every time.
that?
Akin to
Amazing.
Claudia from Interview with a Vampire.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to get that undercut she always wanted, and you just can play around and experiment with it, there's no risks anymore. It just is going to be different. It'll
Every
be
day a
back.
new hairstyle.
Could do it.
Interesting. Okay.
Unfortunately, that does mean you will run through a shit ton of hair dye.
You
But-
can afford it.
But it'll last the night.
I hate it here.
You hate it. So there's a little bit of that. So I'm going to say, to do this, to have this conversation, Maggie and Roland are present here, and because of her assignment, Six would absolutely be here. Can I safely assume that James Kessler doesn't give a fuck and he wouldn't be here right now? You can be if you want to. I'm just giving you the option.
Do you want to kill Mercy?
No, I don't want anything to do with her.
Okay. Well then, you are
Whether-
all...
She still has to prove to me whether or not she wants to survive. So I'm not gonna do anything to help her.
Ooh. Okay. Well, so the coterie sans James is assembled then. And you guys have all met up at Nova early in the evening to discuss this thing and probably, you know, that whole pesky mission thing that you had.
Oh, that old
The
chestnut.
mission thing
Oh no.
from last game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're supposed to still be doing stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Take your time. You do it on your term. You're vampires. You live forever.
We have time.
A little bit.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's do it. But you are all together. Feel free to.
Yeah. So I guess Mercy probably called the meeting, right? Vaguely speaking.
Okay.
Thank you guys for coming tonight. I know that I invited you earlier, Roland, but this is a little bit different than what we had planned to talk about. Although I guess we discussed this too. I really was hoping that as the holidays approach, we could see if we can scrounge up some closure for my family and my friends. Not that there are many of them I care for, but my mom is certainly struggling, and more than anything, I just want to help her. And I think that the best way I can do that now is to give her my funeral, or the opportunity for her to plan my funeral. And so I was hoping that you guys could help me sort out I don't know, body that could perhaps be claimed to be mine. I don't know really what kind of reach we have, but I don't want my mom and my friends worrying.
Maggie will quietly look at Six.
I haven't reached out to them, as we've discussed. I know it's not safe, and
Oh, have I handed it to you yet?
handed.
I was asking. Then I hand you a tablet.
Oh, no, not yet.
Okay, well then I hand you a tablet.
What is on this mysterious tablet?
It is a live stream whenever you want it of your family.
Oh, thank you so much. This is a really big relief. You know, I've been very worried. Just my mom's kind of a mess, And
Yeah. So just so you are aware that nobody's watching them this way. Whether they're doing it through a conventional means, it might show up on camera, but it is not through any cameras inside the house.
got you.
Is this a? Are you giving her a way to contact her family?
No, I'm giving her a way to watch her family.
Like a
Okay.
creep.
Like a creep.
Creepers gotta creep sometimes.
Creeper's got a creep.
So to be
Listen,
clear,
who
what
else
you
will
see
take care
when
of
you
them?
look at this, it is just a pad device that is, you can select around. It is just a live feed streamed through the security cameras of your family's house.
Correct. And my friend Ava.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no way to talk to them in this fashion.
Right.
Oh,
Roland,
thank God.
by chance,
Unless you want to talk
Were
through the
you-
baby monitor, and then that shit gets real weird.
Great. That's a
No,
whole
it's
different
less
game.
Having raised 2 young children with the video monitors, sometimes that shit is scarier than the stuff we talk about in this game.
anyways, Roland, were you by chance able to set anything up so that if anybody else were to try and access these feeds, we'd get some sort of notice?
Not as of yet. I can, if you want, I can go back through and do something, but this is just a. You can look at this whenever you want.
I don't want to inconvenience you too much.
No, it's not too much of a problem.
Then I'd appreciate just for my peace of mind.
Alright.
But about the finding of my body, how do we go about that? Is that something we're capable of?
I'm pretty sure with enough connections, enough money, we could probably find a corpse that could be doctored to look like your twin. There are files we could end up changing. Pretend that they identified your body through dental records if the body is damaged enough.
That would probably be the
Um,
best way of doing it, though. That way there's not an actual body.
Would actually, yeah.
Or I could just arrange for us to have some time alone in the coroner's office, and we could alter the files there to say that that Mercy's DNA was found.
Whatever makes the most sense is okay by me. I am very new to all of this. But if money is an issue, I did have some ideas as I've been working with the team to.
Mercy. Let me get in contact with someone. I have plenty of access to placeholders, so to speak.
Right. Okay, thank you.
It was just
Anything
a
you can do.
rainbow of expression here.
Yeah.
Anything you can do, I am beyond appreciative, and I'm happy to pay you back however I can.
No need for payment.
Is this where the Boon explanation comes from? I'm not here. I'm everywhere, but I'm not here.
I think Maggie might be better suited to explain that one.
So essentially, kindred don't run on the currency of the modern age. Money means very little when you live forever. Therefore, we often pay ourselves in boons or favors promised to one another upon completion of a task. Sometimes these are held for generations, and sometimes they're called upon quite frequently. If you felt that if young Six here felt the need, I would say that the acquiring and arrangement of your death to your mortal family, that would warrant a large boon, a major boon, perhaps.
Um, I am. That seems like a larger offer than I intended, but if I can examine what that means, I'm happy to sort out what that offer is.
Certainly, and it would be to be officiated. We would need a harpy here, of which our dear Roland knows one. We could call in.
Roland looks very excited by that prospect.
I am assuming that is 1,000% in character.
Yes.
Yes.
Per the rules of my Elysium, I require any boons made to be observed by harpies here on the premises. So, to make it official, that's what would be required. You may discuss with one another what one side entails, and I suggest that you finalize that before we call in the harpy. They tend not to want to waste too much of their time.
Who is that in character?
Ooh.
You've briefly met him, I
The
believe,
grunt. The
at
Roland
court.
grunt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind him as much as.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, fortunately for you, Roland, I won't call Annabelle. I'll have her send her lackey.
Let's be clear about something, shall we? It's-
Oh, it was quite obvious at court how clear it was how much you enjoyed speaking with your primogen.
Ah,
let's be clear about some things then again, shall we? It's the woman is
Quite lovely, I
that's a
agree.
lovely is one word for it. Yes. I would. She has a
Oh, dear.
reputation that I don't want to get on the wrong side of.
Oh,
And
that's very wise of you.
why
Yes.
are you saying she's a professional?
oh, I'm saying she's a lot of things, but
Well, she certainly was not very amenable to working with me or allowing anybody in her club to work with me as far as promotions between the clubs.
she seems like a very secular person.
Annabelle's club is unique, and therefore it is probably most likely that cross promotion isn't uh, her thing. She doesn't really need it, nor does she want it from my end just yet.
I distinctly got that impression.
And
Mr.
if we
Tars,
all
however,
forgot that that's who we're talking about here.
Yes, Annabelle and I are on decent terms as far as our two clans go, and as far as we personally are. However, when it comes to business, it is likely that she will not want to sully her good name just yet.
maybe we'll make her change her mind about that, Maggie.
It's quite possible that some things are in the works that could shake up her opinion. But yes, Mr. Tars, as you mentioned, I'm glad that you reached out. He and I have had good relations with regards to cross promotion. In fact, the picture of me that you were asking about earlier, his progeny is the one who painted it.
Oh, quite interesting.
Persephone
Maybe
painted that.
Yes,
quite
6.
beautiful. I'd like to meet her, in fact. You know, anybody who can make this quality of art is really somebody I'd like to be friends with.
Oh boy, we can just bring back all the fun characters from season 1.
Hmm.
That's gonna be horrifying in all the right ways.
Perhaps
Not
be a
me causing
correspondent.
drama because I'm tired. It's fine. Cheers.
Cheers indeed.
If I recall, she was fairly adept at technology and therefore could probably reach out to you in some manner. Uh, so,
Um, if we are on the topic of club things, perhaps Six, we can talk later about this Boon matter and what that may look like. Um, then
Okay.
I do have some other things to talk about if that's all
If,
right.
if you two need to talk, I would probably like to talk to Maggie for a moment.
Sure, I did want to talk to you, Roland, with Maggie here about the
Uh,
plans we've made and
sure.
everything. But whatever order of operations makes sense here, I'm happy to accommodate.
Well, since we're all here, we might as well.
Maggie, I don't know if you've spoken to Valerie recently, but we were in fact working on some new event nights. I know you were saying that you were interested in some new types of events and different kinds of music in the venue.
Yes, I
I
believe the older music that has graced these halls is probably in due for a bit of a change. I'm always willing to upgrade my tastes.
Of course. And speaking of tastes, I thought it would be quite fun for Val to create cocktails, in fact, specially for each new band that comes in. Only available on nights that they play, so that anybody who likes the cocktail must attend our event.
You're going to make me a lot of money, and that makes me like you a lot.
I'm glad you feel that way because the other thing is, depending on Val's creative flow, I was hoping we could at least once a month do a cocktail tasting, a special event, perhaps ticketed, where everybody could come in and try her cocktails of the month, or perhaps quarter, just depending. But I think it'd be quite interesting to have a menu change where people could come in, talk about the flavors, the profiles of the drinks, and what they enjoy and what they don't enjoy, so that we can better see what our people are interested in.
Hold that thought for just one moment. Please excuse me, everyone. I've got to address something rather quickly. And Maggie will get up and leave. She's
Oh
going to go up
my.
to the bar.
Look at how fancy he's doing. That's like
She's
fancy.
going to find Valerie, and she's going to. Excuse me, Valerie. Do you have a moment?
And she's working at the bar doing her stuff. Like, of course.
Um, so Mercy was just going over with me some of the ideas that you two spoke of. Wonderful ideas, I must say. I'm
She's
fully
very
on board.
enthusiastic.
It's
You
quite
hired the
lovely,
right
actually.
one. She
I
leans in on the
agree. I
bar.
agree very much. On that note, actually, since you're kind of handling the finances a bit for Nova, go ahead and knock on another 10% for you and her salary for coming up with this. Call it a marketing fee, write it off to the company expenses, and treat yourself to something nice.
She's a. I will ever be thankful for you
Oh, you've
giving me
earned it,
this
dear.
opportunity.
You know, you always have a special place in my heart. Okay, I've got to get back to a meeting though. Wonderful job. Everything looks wonderful up here as per usual. I can't wait to see what you two come up with.
She kind of is obviously exuberant at this noise. Like the bubbly nature that she has just comes up like times three, and she like waves and like goes and like makes a note in the ledger, and like she's like like on top of the world.
So
You
then Maggie will return a few minutes later and sit back down and go, please continue.
Um, right. So, I of course was talking to Roland this week. I know that you had invited him. I asked him to wait on his event until Maggie could make a cocktail specifically for him. And we've come up with one I think is very interesting. We've decided to call it the headless. I'm sorry. What was it again, Roland?
Uh, you came up with a few things. I suggested the Headless Horseman.
Yes. Yes. I thought it'd be great. There is in fact a cocktail topper it's a cherry devouring a blueberry. It's quite fun. For whenever he graces his skills.
This isn't going to be very. You're not going to turn Nova into some gauche Halloween themed place, are you?
No, of course not. This is simply his cocktail for his events.
Actually,
Okay.
as a note, just briefly, this would be something that Maggie may or may not have known. I assume she's started to keep reasonable tabs on the people who are working with her lately, yes? Well,
Always.
Roland has introduced himself as a DJ. You have heard that he has played at Avernus and a few other places. I assume that Maggie, being Maggie, would have a pretty robust sense of European and North American mythology.
Oh, yes.
The name that Roland appears to be playing under is Dullahan, which is, of course, the name for the spirit that is the headless horseman in lore. So, hence the drinks. And to give it a little more contextualization for the audience as well.
Well, thinking about it, yes, that sounds. You know what? Forgive my speaking earlier. I'm going to go ahead and say that I trust your judgment.
Thank you. I promise it's nothing so gauche as themed night, so much as it is an additional draw to music events.
Where's my polka?
I will catch you.
So on that completely different note, is there any stuff you don't want played at your club? I always ask.
Well, if you're going to be a headliner, and from what I hear around the town, including from a friend of mine, you seem to bring in large crowds, a lot of fans, perform admirably. I don't have to be here to listen to it if I don't like it. You play what you need to play.
Some clubs don't like certain things, so I ask.
The crowd will be here for you, so you play for them.
But it is also your club.
That's true.
Roland, if I may interrupt. Maggie is here for the music and it is her club, but primarily I think she wants you to make money for her.
Yeah, I got that.
No, I just listen and I don't care
here
which
is
play.
quite silly.
No, it's just a general thing that I ask. It just some clubs don't like when I put like rap songs or cursing. So it's just one of those things that I ask.
I don't give a fuck what you play.
Okay,
quite
that's
honestly.
All those rap songs.
But I will say, it will be an interesting experience for me, as I don't believe I've had many kindred, if any, play in my club since I've been here in Chicago. So it'll be a lovely test to see what kind of crowd we can bring in.
You have not, now that I think about it.
I may be a little bit hungrier that week.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Anyway, but cool. I will come up with stuff and we'll see where it goes. See where the night takes us, so to speak.
Wonderful.
So Roland, I think that is scheduled for early next week, so we can start our promotional materials. I do have your logo.
No problem. I'll start putting stuff out.
He's got a logo.
I've got a logo, yes.
I will begin the promotional materials from Nova's side.
I don't want. I trust you, Mercy. I hired you to do a job. I'm going to let you do your job.
Wonderful.
But
nothing.
Okay.
No. I'm more amenable than you might think I am previously. I'll be fair with you, and I'll give you a bit of credit because I'm feeling a bit more generous this evening. I have heard good things, and it is not like me, nor will it ever be, um, to not give you credit when it is due. And I have
Okay.
heard good things from people that I respect, and therefore I trust that you'll put on a good show and that you're not doing it out of some weird scheme to tank Nova's reputation. Though if you are, I will pull you in half at the midsection.
If I tank your club, I tank my reputation as well.
And right, so mutual benefit there.
Yes. But so is that everything?
That was all that I needed from you today, Roland. And also, just again, I very much appreciate this tablet and the feed. I cannot thank you enough.
No problem. But Maggie, you and I have serious business to discuss.
Serious in the sense that we need to be alone, or serious in the sense that perhaps Mercy and Six could be part of it?
Little column A, little column B.
Well, that doesn't answer my question. Do they need to leave or do they need to stay?
Well, depends on how deep you want more Mercy than Six.
Well, Six is currently acting as my right hand in her time here, so she will
That's-
definitely stay. And Mercy, being my progeny by proxy and court law, I believe should also stay.
Oh, fair enough. So how well do you like Ballard?
Do I want to be tactful or do I want to be honest?
Well,
Your beast actually makes a little belly rumbly noise in the back of your mind for that one.
Yes, dear, I know. I will say that were he on fire, I would not piss on him to put him out.
you do not create urine, so that makes it slightly
So
easier.
you get it.
My pleasure.
So the explosion that happened with Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why it happened, I believe, is that Mr. Ballard has entered into arrangements with a certain corporation. Name of Pentex. Do you know the name?
Storyteller, do I know the name Pentax?
Well, since we haven't actually had one tonight, let's go ahead and make this a roll. I would say, as I crack open a random character sheet to remind myself what skills and stats look like, I would say that would probably be... I would go with, for you, probably financing, and let's go with wits.
Interesting. While that happens,
Any
Mercy.
bonus die for this one?
I wouldn't say this time, no.
Okay.
Not this time.
Mercy sort of.
I'm very hungry, dear. I can't really recall any specific company by that name.
All right. So the reason why it blew up is that somebody has some kind of vendetta against this company. That being stated, this company seems to be not on the up and up, as it were.
Well, it's Ballad, so that's up pretty much.
This is Pentex. I'm not so much focusing on Ballard here. Ballard's just in bed with him, which gives me pause. Because he's on the council with the prince.
Are you perhaps insinuating that Ballard created this his explosion
No.
himself? Okay.
No.
Damn it.
No.
So this company, skeevy vibes are the best way is to describe it. There's a lot of things that just don't add up. They have a lot of plants that suffer similar accidents, yet
Mm.
nothing's in the news.
If I may interrupt for a moment.
Yes.
Something that seemed less relevant, or not even so, just so innocuous. When I remembered it, that in this context seems rather important. I was hired for the PR job for the green energy plant by Ballard Industries.
I actually am aware of that.
Okay.
Which is kind of why I told you to stay away from him.
Yes, that's right. You did. Thank you.
So what's going on in that plant? It didn't seem like it was actually operational at all. Basically, there were a lot of trucks moving things in and out of there, but nothing was actually being generated in any way, shape, or form.
Do you believe it's a front for something?
I believe, yes, is a front for a vampire, or a group of vampires, as it were. I've looking heavily into this, and I'm still coming up with very, very, very little in this fashion. So it's really sometimes the less you find on something, the more it actually worries you. If you get if you get,
If you catch my drift.
it's it's worrisome because generally you can find a paper trail, all this other stuff, but on Pentex it's just kind of not there. So, I mean, I'm looking more into it, but
What I'm about to speculate doesn't leave this room.
uh,
Of course.
If I find out that it has, with the exception of some pain, I will also kill you. Knowing where the prince is right now with the current approval ratings, his overdramatic example at court leading to the outburst of finding this rogue anarch and creating all of this diversionary sort of tactics away from this, claiming that Ventru interests were attacked, making Ballard seem like the victim. I worry that the uneasy peace that the Camarilla here in Chicago is feeling with the anarchs could be a way for the prince to at least regain favor in the Cam's eyes. And this explosion, this diversionary tactic of blaming anarchs or some other shadowy people, could then be the catalyst for which he ends this peace, just to reclaim some sort of favor. All speculation entirely, but he is Ventru, and I understand a bit of how they think.
Oh, I ain't saying shit here. You guys keep going.
Were that the case,
You see, Mercy, headaches. Headaches.
Quiet.
yes.
I was kind of explaining somewhere along the similar nature of what you just said to her,
Well,
with
you see,
speculation on my part.
the fortunate thing about my disposition is when you've lived for a while, you tend to see the same patterns repeat, and when governments fall out of favor, they often create wars within to regain that favor. And if the prince can create a united front against a common enemy, he'll at least regain the favor of those he holds most dear, the Cam. And I know that his favor has been waning these nights. It seems like, well,
He's not in
plausible.
character.
It's not. It's. I wouldn't bring it up just yet, in say court, obviously. Uh, but it's definitely a theory that I think that we should keep our minds on when looking further into these things.
My personal opinion on it was that Ballard was working with somebody else to usurp the prince.
That's possible as well. I know that Ballard is old, maybe similar to myself, and his aspirations for power would likely be, well, they will likely have grown these nights, especially with a young up-and-coming prince from seemingly nowhere who's progressive and changes things. If Ballard is of the old way of thinking, he would likely have reason to try and undermine the prince. So that is also an option. And I'm also inclined to hate Ballard more than the prince currently, so.
He strikes me as a true adventurer.
He is scum, for sure. And while some of our blood is similar, I don't take any comfort in that fact. It is very likely that he is the more stereotypical of the two of us, for sure.
What stereotype would that be?
Power hungry will stab you in the back.
That doesn't sound like you at all.
Well, you don't know me very well.
Whole venturer like that? Just varying degrees of
Not all of us,
hostility.
no. There are some that are progressive and more tactful in nature and prefer the pin to the sword.
I can say that last was in character. For reference.
It was in character?
It was. Yes, as she said that doesn't
Maggie
sound
would
like
have
you at all.
smiled at it.
Fantastic.
No, I find that I like to keep. I see, and I've seen it. I've seen it throughout the years. When you are known for stabbing in the back, and when you're known for this, it is quite difficult when you live forever and your enemies live forever to make any sort of headway. So that's a very stereotypical Ballad thing to do, I would say. Have I mentioned he's trash? I also hate him very much,
Once or
personally.
twice.
I did get that impression, yes. I don't know how subtle you are about that. Is that intentional?
My subtlety is usually are very pronounced. Again, I'm not a stab you in the back Ventru. I'm more of a stab you in the face Ventru.
Of course.
Mr. Roland, I would ask that in doing this research, and I mean this with every bit of honesty, you had better cover your tracks and be quite careful. Because if you have any inkling that I'm a threat to you in any way, Ballard, I assure you is.
Oh, very much so. I actually had to create a specific program for him and this research so it wouldn't get back to me, as opposed to just doing normal looking.
On the other side of the coin, should you require safe haven, you're always welcome here at the Elysium, and I will enforce those rules. Rules which he should abide by while on these grounds, or suffer. Well, he'll either suffer the wrath based on the loss of Elysium, or he will face mine.
Appreciate it, but hopefully it doesn't come to that.
I
But
don't know. I'd like to stab him in the face.
I mean, I'm not stopping you.
Well,
That would solve some issues.
he would need to act rather egregiously here, and I believe that he has more etiquette than that.
No,
I
I'm sure
don't
you
think
could
he would
just stab him in the face. You just take a knife and you shove it into his head.
I mean, technically, yes, I could do this.
All right. Do you want me to call James?
First and foremost, I don't believe he would answer your phone. Second, I don't necessarily want to involve Mr. Kessler in any of this boring kindred business. He doesn't seem the type to care.
The cons
I
outweigh
don't
the
know.
pros.
Yeah,
For now,
I get it.
Six,
I get
agree.
it. But if you explained it in a proper way, I'm sure he would be right on board.
Certainly, anyone can be talked into stabbing anyone else in the face. That's literally what I do on a daily basis.
I'm just
The
saying, you
point that I'm
describe
making is
Ballard.
right now, his life is not worth me taking it. Should that
Yes.
equation change, I'm happy to oblige.
Fantastic.
And Six, as she had stated, the cons outweigh the pros currently. There's much I'm trying to accomplish, and unwanted attention is not something that I can afford too much of right now.
And speaking of Six, right about the time that you're saying this, Six, you do feel your phone vibrate, and the messages that are coming in are a bit more of the. It is the conclusion of the information you were looking up for your downtime.
Mhm.
So now you officially have all of the information from that.
Okay.
But on that note, since we're about at the halfway point and we're kind of changing gears, changing subjects a little bit, I believe this would be a great point for us to take our mid-show break. Everybody run to the bathroom, get a drink or something. We will be right back very soon. And yeah, see you guys pretty soon. Yes, I do.
RP!
RP! Hey! we back? We're back. Hey, okay, we are back.
Hey, we did it. We made it.
We did it. We're back.
We
The
found
bunny
our way.
did not eat my shoes, and that is a win.
That is a
We
win.
found our way through the
Yeah.
woods. We
Yeah.
pushed
We
on and
pushed.
on.
There.
Punk wants you to hydrate.
Fine.
Yes,
I
sir.
can do that. Thanks, Bonk. I'll be sure not to do my trick of calling your voicemail on and telling everyone to make you do push-ups.
Mag, do it now.
Maybe later. Threats aside, let's get back to the game.
Yes,
So
Roby.
we had settles it. All right, I'll deal with that later. So last we had left off, Six's phone had gone off, and you officially have all of the information that you were looking for because you had a great number of successes. Honestly, Six is starting to concern me with how well she rolls.
Cheater. Weighted dice.
Yeah, weighted digital dice.
It's what you call by marrying the DM.
Yep, absolutely. You guys can't scroll up and see the rolls yourself at all.
Oh,
No,
I
of
didn't get
course
this
not.
power through marriage, sweetheart.
Oh, baby.
Oh shit.
Something D&D jokes. She's scarier than Tog.
Oh,
There's a thing with that. Besides, Six did get the update. And we actually haven't left the meeting room yet. We're still here.
Maggie left.
Maggie left. Maggie's up in her pad.
quite
It's fancy.
inconvenient considering, but
So, yeah. What's everyone else doing?
Roland, did you want to see the cocktail?
Sure.
Um,
I can also see the space. See what I have to work with. Playing a light show.
yes. Sounds quite interesting.
Confetti
Maggie-
cannons.
No, absolutely not.
Yes, confetti cannons everywhere.
Oh my god, the cleanup. No, 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 absolutely not. You know what? Yes, absolutely. You're more than welcome to have confetti cannons. I look
Fantastic.
forward to seeing you for the cleanup afterwards.
Oh, I won't be here for that. No. I get paid to play.
Then no.
I've seen
Many
places that do like shaving, like whipped cream or shaving cream or soap foam. Sorry, that fall from the ceiling. We can do that.
I will remove you
Fantastic.
from my list so quickly you will not even be able to blink.
Ooh,
Maggie
glitter
would kill
cannons.
me. Glitter cannons. Oh wait, hold on. I'm sort of tempted.
I'll
Maggie will definitely kill you.
dead.
You're not here. Shut up.
I'm not here. I'm not here. Fine. But there's a vein in Maggie's head that's throbbing right now.
Somewhere in the dark.
I actually kind of like my job, Roland. So if we could maybe not with the messes. This is working out quite nicely for me. I don't know if you've noticed.
I'm just saying, the potential for hilarity
I
is
am
great.
good at one thing. One thing I am good at that has come over from my past life, and I don't want to mess it up.
Don't put yourself down that much. Anyway, I'm sure I can come up with some
No
kind of like
cannon.
neat. What?
Lights acceptable. Cannons not allowed.
Fine.
Unless they're
Spoil sport.
shift cannons could be cool. Though. Are
The-
shift cannons still cool?
Not really. It's easier just to throw shirts out in the audience and and have them fight over it. It's fun.
I do like brawls.
See, more brouhaha every day.
Ooh.
Anyways, Roland, if you want to go talk to Valerie, or I can take you.
Yeah.
But I think I can talk to Six if you're.
Yeah,
intending
no,
to
that's
go
fine.
out there and get your drink.
I'll entertain myself.
Let me know if there's anything you don't like about your drink. There will be. I can text you the promotional materials that I plan to put out.
Yeah, sure. Shoot me an email.
Starting this week. Oh, do I have your email?
Yeah, it's on the card I gave you.
Oh, yes, right, of course. I'm a professional, I promise.
No, it's fine. It's just easier to keep everything in track that way.
Sure, absolutely.
Where did Maggie go?
I'm
Where
not
did
No
Maggie
sure.
one
go?
knows. She got up and said that she had things to attend to, and that she would be back a little bit later in the evening.
Fantastic. Roland's gonna go up to the bar and see how the drink is made, and then probably play on her piano since she's not there to tell me no.
I think everything's fine. I didn't kick the computer again.
You're fine. You're centered fine. It's all good.
Bubble cannons, easy cleanup.
It works. So
We're gonna do
the
lights and lasers. That's fun.
the coterie is essentially just mucking about at this point, planning and doing stuff.
But yes, I think Six and Mercy have some things to discuss once Roland leaves the room.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
Do we?
I think we do.
Yeah, I'm gone.
Okay. Um, subtle, right? Do you want to go check out your cocktail?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna go check her, watch her make the cocktail, and then play on Maggie's piano.
Make sure you like the color and the skewers and everything.
Because you sure can't like the taste.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch her make that and be envious of that cocktail.
So Six, as I was saying, I don't quite understand. I mean, obviously there's gravity to a boon, but if we can discuss terms if you're interested. I would not be able to thank you enough for doing this, putting this together for me.
Trying to think of a way to explain this. How important is this to you? Us finding closure for your family.
If there is one person in my life who I care dearly for, it is my mother, despite her shortcomings as such. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, easily a 9.
Okay. So, the weight of that debt, I want to say, well, depending on the vampire you bargain with, it would have to equal, I guess, what we'd ask of you in kind.
Mm-hmm.
An eye for an eye, I guess. Something like that.
Perhaps more amicable than that, but I do understand.
How many people do you plan on owing a debt to?
Well, as few as I can manage.
Okay. So are you asking both me and Roland to cover this up for you? Or just me?
It sounded like perhaps Roland was. It sounded like you were the most able to do this on the physical side, and I think the technical will follow.
Well, I work for a man that, well, death is his business. So just looking for a corpse that might look like you, it might not take too long given how big Chicago is, and people die every day. I'm sure we could find your twin out there. It shouldn't be too difficult. Now, do you want us to cover the details of this person's passing for you, or do you want to light the the body on fire yourself? How do you want, more or less, how do you want to write your ending for your family?
That is a tough
Or better yet, do you want an open casket or closed casket?
question. These are hard questions. I think a closed casket would be best.
Okay.
I would hate for my mother to suffer through seeing me at peace rather than ending in such a way where she would be better off without seeing me, if that makes sense. I don't know how much body is necessary for this so much as.
I mean, if you want to take it a step further, we can just simply cremate the body and pretend it's you. Give her a little token to remember you by.
I am content with that as an option.
Okay.
I think that would give her peace without causing undue grief. She already expects the worst, I'm sure.
Most mothers would.
Mine's a little interesting, but I do imagine that a few weeks of no contact would give her the worst depression.
Well, tell you what. Seeing as we already have a little side project with Maggie and looking into the college and all these disappearances with the kids, if you have some free time this week, how would you feel about speaking with this gentleman?
If that's what would be required from me, I am happy to do so. As long as Maggie, of course, would agree, I do owe her consideration to all these things.
To be fair, Maggie would certainly vouch for him. He will definitely take good care of you and your little problem.
Of course, okay. I feel if anybody would know, you would.
I will pass along the message before the end of the night.
I appreciate that.
Lots of moving pieces. Lots of moving pieces. Roland has rolled 4 successes there and is playing a piano on the floor. Honestly, quite well. Normally, I don't really. I wouldn't have anything for it, but I would say that.
Oh God, are you gonna do the thing?
He's playing some jazz music.
Yeah, I am going to be playing some jazz music because that was around in Nova anyways. Ain't bad. He ain't half bad at all. Lots of stuff is going on between people. On that note, all the way across town, probably. Hey, James Kessler.
Yo,
Who?
I have arrived. Into
Sort
the
of.
roleplay.
In spirit. Same question presented at the top of the show to you. Holidays are coming up, and it's not usually the easiest for vampires to deal with. What is James up to tonight? It's not with everybody because these people bother the shit out of you. But what is he doing with his time on a cold Chicago night that is cold as fuck for the mortals?
29 specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent the beginning part of the night. The shelter, the homeless shelter that I work at, is it's one of those that the cutoff time for people to come in to check into the shelter is a little bit later. So I spend beginning part of my night helping people get checked in and like a bite to eat and a bed or something like that. I quietly take note of the people that are of my preferred prey as I do so. It's a way for me to hunt for my desired prey. Absolutely. Or preferred prey, so I should say. So after that, I kind of resume my duties as kind of like I fill a lot of hats. This shelter doesn't have a lot of volunteers, and I volunteer here. So I help prep for the breakfast, the kitchen crew to make breakfast in the morning. I clean the shelter, and I also perform as a night, kind of like a night watchman type thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't have much family anymore. I was officially listed as killed in action, and I don't have a lot of contact with my family. So,
on the note of,
I actually hate the holidays.
Yeah, as most vampires do. But whether mortal or otherwise, you help people get warm food, warm beds, things like that.
Yep.
But would you say that you would, of any of the preferred prey that you like, would have been rolling into the shelter tonight?
Most likely. I mean, I think that's something that you should decide, right?
I mean, it could be.
Yeah.
So,
the homeless veteran population is large across the United States, no matter what city you live in.
We'll see what we have the dice decide a little bit. There are slim pickings tonight. You seat a lot of people. Food bed's beginning to get to the point where it's going to close for the night, but you do get one single veteran that does come in. You know the type, basically on site. The old green jacket, the hair that is a little too overgrown, no, somewhere between unkempt and trying to keep everything in rigid line.
How are his eyes?
Glassy. This is definitely a gentleman who hasn't had it easy and is almost certainly on something. And is just looking for a place to sleep, just like everyone else.
When he approaches, I go, I pull out my clipboard and I go, what's your name, man?
Yeah, so I look through stuff. He looks up and he goes, John. And oh, so you're writing the stuff on the clipboard yourself. You're not handing it to him.
Yeah.
He's like, Bailey, John. And it looks like he's
John
going to start
Bailey.
saying more, but he stops himself like he was going to recite numbers.
Right. All right, John Bailey. I put the clipboard. I write down his name and put the clipboard down. I hand him rolled up wool blanket. It's a little worn around the edges, but still should be serviceable. A pillow that's kind of like half full of stuff. It's
well used.
Again, it's used. And a handful of things, and a bar of soap. That's still in a box. I go, here you go. Your bunk 35. Group showers in the back.
He meets your eyes for like a second, nods, and then
while I'm telling him this, I want to do something.
Okay, what are we doing?
And I just want to praise him. I take notice of his build, the way that he handles himself.
Okay.
His eyes are already glassy.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to generally assess him as on a threat kind of basis.
Threat level. Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of awareness, I would say, since we're making a roll out of this, we'll say that would definitely be your specialization in insight, along with wits.
And
So
do I get the
bonus
extra dice
die-
for my cold reading?
Yep. Bonus dice will be
Okay.
+1. What do you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are just successes on the blood die, not messy at all. So you're sharp as ever, and the beast is also in check. Although you do feel the rumbles of hunger there a little bit. Threat assessment. When this gentleman was sharp, they might have been, mid threat, maybe high. Right now, low, for sure.
How old is he?
He would be, I want to say, late 30s, early 40s. Little bit of a gut going on. He looks like he's like old, like corded muscle, but he hasn't like stayed in any kind of like workout regimen. Like,
He's in his 30s and 40s. That means that he is probably War on Terror age.
that seems like a good assessment, especially with that many successes.
Okay, I make note of that.
And as you, actually no, that would be all you would notice with that. And he kind of just shuffles off towards the back. With this, do you intend on feeding off of this one tonight?
Let's see. My hunger is
2.
not high enough for me to be desperate.
Nope, you are definitely not desperate.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
He's on drugs right now.
I
So,
may have just unbanned him. I don't know. Sorry.
You did. It's okay. I'll let you do it. So no, you are not desperate.
okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Playing it safe?
I'm not going to. Yeah. Because vampires can, when they take blood of people under the influence, they can take on those properties.
Very
as well,
much. If you were to
Yeah.
feed on somebody who's on drugs, you could definitely at least get a little bit, if not a lot, of whatever it is that they're on.
Yeah. I am, paranoid about losing my faculties, so I'm not that desperate. So I'm gonna. Is this the first time I've seen him in this shelter?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the first time you've seen him here. He's not a regular.
Okay. All right.
He's
All
just
right,
going
that's
to
all.
ride.
Yep.
James sees the opportunity and thinks better of it.
Yeah.
Ironically, a vampire, a monster, as it were, in a place that is giving food and shelter to humans, and is choosing to go hungry himself. Sometimes the lines get blurred. It really depends. Magdalena, you've been gone a while. What's going on?
So Magdalena, being the age that she is,
Mm-hmm.
the holidays are they're bad. She doesn't enjoy them, but she's also far removed from it.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least she thought she was,
Ooh.
until recent nights. And she goes to her room that no one else knows of. Save for
Dun, dun, dun.
maybe one person in existence. And she goes to her writing desk and she pulls out a letter that she started a week or two ago. And she just kind of sits there and stares at it. Almost going into like a meditative state. She just stares at the words that she wrote on the page. And while she's sitting there, she thinks of a name. Victoria. And then she takes the parchment and folds it back up and sticks it back in the drawer. Closes it. Kind of looks around at the quiet room.
There is faint music downstairs. Your special room is pretty deep in there, and it has a lot of good safeguards, but you can hear Roland's down there, or somebody's down there, you don't know it's him, but somebody with some skill is playing piano, and it seems like a saxophone has joined them. The outside world beyond your room is merry and moving on, it seems.
As it always is. I am quite hungry, and that music does seem to bring in some sort of thirst in me. So with that, Maggie will head out in search of a snack.
Snack. The floor. Look at me, I'm trying to change scenes in OBS when I need to be changing scenes in Roll20. The floor is the floor. There's not that many people. There's a few. Roland's there, playing away. Young man's on a saxophone. There's like two couples that are like kind of play ballroom dancing. And there's 4 or 5 tables of people who are just eating and smiling and having a good time. It's not awfully late yet. We haven't gotten to the point where it's so late that it's early.
Maggie's going to wait for a break in the song and try and snag that saxophone player for a
Absolutely.
little bit of a thing.
Of a thing. Well, you go ahead and on that. It might come up in a short while. That's probably going to be with you. With you, that's probably going to be persuasion and charisma, knowing Maggie's tastes and style. And it looks like they're getting low on the set, so it might happen soon.
Would you like me to roll now?
Yeah, go for it. Because you got about 30 seconds left on this track. That is deuce. You got a deuce. So we'll see what happens.
I'm extra hungry. I'm gonna re-roll.
We spend willpower? All right.
Yeah.
It's freeform jazz. We can stop whenever we want.
That's true. But I want it to end well because Roland rolled well. Reroll 3 dice. That's another 2
that's
successes. Technically, that makes it a crit.
Nice.
And not a messy one either.
I'm quite hungry. I would like things to go smoothly.
So you are able to take the gentleman by the hand and take him off for a nice conversation.
Excuse me, Roland. I'm going to snag him for just a moment.
You do what you gotta do, I guess.
So has Six and Mercy come up from their meeting to kind of join the rest of the people there?
I believe so.
Okay. Lots of conversations going on. It isn't but a few... it's barely 2 minutes. Lay it in all the jokes that you want before Magdalena is returned. Her hunger, I assume, reduced down to 1.
Just to 1, yes.
1 pump jump. I'm sorry, what?
Valerie, dear, that saxophonist, I seem to have worn him out. Could you send down the complimentary orange juice and cookies for the young lad? I believe he needs to regain his stamina before his next set.
He didn't have a whole lot of stamina to begin with, so that's short.
Stamina, yes.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So she moves off to do that. And the vampires, if they so choose to, can find like a nice table. There are people talking, but there are plenty of secluded tables where if you don't yell, you can say whatever you want. You know this place isn't bugged.
I need to bring in some roaches. Or some beetles. Beetles, not roaches. So this place is bugged.
The beetles were quite delicious, actually. Anyway, has anyone heard from Mr. Kessler this evening?
Yes, no, I'm in regular contact with him on a regular basis.
Well, I don't believe that for a second. Six, I do believe that you're one of the few that he doesn't hate. Would you mind contacting him? I believe that we should probably head out and see if we can accomplish the task, or at least some intel gathering for Mrs. Wainwright.
Well, fortunately, your message that you got earlier details exactly that. You got your downtime info.
I do. Even if I did get it, are we still going out to the college?
If you... Depends on what the information is.
Well, I found names of the students. I've not only found photo IDs to look them up on security feeds. I have license plate numbers. And I also discovered that the missing students appeared to be of the same major. They are part of
Interesting.
the digital multimedia department of Olive Harvey. Olive Harvey.
Roland, would you mind doing a quick search on your portable computer there and see if that professor that would be in charge of those students has late office hours?
Sure.
Well, this is going to be a very difficult role for Roland. That's going to be your great old usual... let me actually look here to make sure I'm doing this correctly. That's going to, for sure, be...
I believe there's a thing that you can use called Ask Jeeves. Something... I want
Yes,
to know
I will definitely ask Jeeves.
He was very helpful back when I was...
Roll
when I knew
me
him.
fucking technology
Wow.
and wits. I will. This time I'll actually even allow your specialty, so that'll be 1 bonus die you would get with that. You take a few minutes, tap away on the keys. Deep cut. Well, shit.
Holy fuck!
That's
Wow.
everything.
Whoa! Damn, dude.
Technology is what he's good at.
I think I got it.
So Roland looks at his laptop and just sticks his face into it. His whole head's gone through the screen. He pops back out and he knows everything.
Just entered the Matrix.
Seems realistic.
You didn't ask Jeeves, he was Jeeves.
Are you
It was
Jeeves?
Jeeves
You are the
all
Jeeves.
along. So, with that, you find lots of stuff. So, on top of that, I must also note that that's a messy crit. One of your blood die is one of your 10s. So,
He's gonna get sliced.
sliced. See what happens there. Okay, that's not absolutely terrible. So, Roland, you've had points in your life, or an unlife too, where you needed to know something. Needed to.
Definitely.
You're in a room with a bunch of people having a good time, very friendly, very whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You are not aware that this is happening, but everybody that looks at you is just seeing, like, you are just in. Like, he's gone. He's somewhere else. And it comes off as very, very intense. This isn't really a situation where a messy crit would be like a masquerade breach or anything like that. There's nothing good for that. So what I'm going to say is not only do you find out all of the information, but your beast is literally hungry for it. So, as I detail what you find, please go in your character sheet and increase your hunger by 1.
Oh, I'm gonna bite this
Dun,
motherfucker.
dun, dun.
I need to eat.
Also, just eyeballing your character sheet, you can recover that willpower you lost before. because
Fantastic.
It comes back after every new night. But what you find is, in fact, all of the you name trace each one of the students. You do find they all do attend one specific class. It's one of the digital multimedia classes. You find that one by one, each one of these students has stopped attending. And you also find that the teacher hasn't been reporting in for a while either. A teacher by the name of Eugene Marks has been reporting for a while, probably about 3 weeks.
Yeah, that checks out.
Something
Fantastic.
right there. And
Yeah.
beyond that, because that's a lot of fucking successes. That's technically 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Fantastic.
That's a lot. So you're like, that's not enough for you. You keep going. You keep going. You keep digging more. Getting into these kids' like school emails isn't very fucking hard at this point. Deeper and deeper you go, and each one of these kids has an email from their teacher discussing assignments, discussing the multimedia stuff, and that each one of them should come over to his place.
I am definitely finding out that address.
You already did.
Fantastic.
You already did.
Does he have a phone number?
He does.
Fantastic. Any way I can track his GPS?
With 9 successes? So, again, everyone's watching him just go and go and go. It's a little unnerving. It's actually really unnerving.
He's forgetting
Maggie,
to
you
breathe.
look like a wizard.
He's literally not breathing, not blinking, not doing anything.
Vampires don't
So-
have to do those things.
Yes, but this is like
He's in. But yes, you find his office number, not really useful to you. You find personal cell phone number, easy on the website. You run it through GPS tracking software. It is located at the same place that the address that you dug up for his home is.
fantastic. You found his address. Cool.
It is in. It's actually not too far away from the college itself. To the north and a little bit to the west, there's it's like a giant cul-de-sac that is used for like staff and student dormitories, because the college, just with that many fucking successes, does not have any dormitories on campus at all. It's just a big tech building.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the campus either lives near campus in that little town, and he is definitely one of those houses at the end of the lane.
Oh, fantastic. He is a fucker. His history, his house, his phone number, his GPS signal. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're a naughty boy, huh? Yep.
And that's what you guys hear. You do find other little fun things to play around with, like social security numbers and, outstanding bank balances that he has too. But
Oh, I don't care. Unless he has an surplus. Does he have a surplus of money?
nope.
Fantastic. Don't care.
Nope. He is, from looking at the bank records, he's teacher salary. It ain't great.
No, that's fantastic. Cool. I don't need to steal from him then. That's cool. Going to ruin his life. Sorry, what?
Those are being said out loud quietly, by
Yes.
the way, that everyone else can hear.
Of course. Really?
No response. Do you poke him?
No.
No?
Mercy, very fast learner.
I think I got everything. Cool.
Sorry, Mr. Roland. What was that?
I got his address. I'm tracking his cell phone. All the students got emails from him to come see them at his place. Teacher salary.
Who?
End of the lane. Seems like a creep.
Ah. Yes, I knew a history professor who was quite a creep.
Oh, me too.
Nevertheless, I will. Are you fairly comfortable that you know where this individual is right this moment?
Yeah.
Will
Yeah,
you
I
be
got
able
it.
to follow this? Will you know where this individual is if we head out that way?
If he takes his cell phone with him, yes. As he is a human being, I assume, then he'll probably take his cell phone with him so I can track him.
Very good. Very good. Six, would you mind giving Mr. Kessler a call, please? And well, actually, I'll see if he'll answer mine first, and I will call James Kessler.
What is Maggie's ringtone?
Just normal.
You don't have ringtones. It's just generic
No.
Nokia or whatever.
Nope. Well, he's the
damn.
only one who does that shit.
It's a call, not a text, because she don't do the button pushy things.
Yeah. I fished the phone out of my pocket, look at it. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, no need to be so formal, Mr. Kessler. I know it is a bit later in the evening. I have spared you the enjoyment of dealing with all of the ignorant kindred politics of the night, and instead have saved for you perhaps the main course. Would you like to help us go and potentially restrain a very bad man in his home?
Bad in what way?
Bad in the way that he is potentially stealing or harming the children at that school.
He's what?
He's a teacher.
He's a teacher, I'm informed, that is potentially hurting his students and is the cause of the disappearance of those students that we were asked to look into by, from last week.
My grip on my broom tightens as my fist tenses. When?
We'll pick you up. What's your
just hang up.
address?
All right, I'm sorry.
I don't know your address, motherfucker.
Yes, pick me up wherever I am. I was like, I give Magdalena the
Okay.
address.
Wonderful.
It said bleep.
Yeah, and then I hang up.
6, here's the address. Bleep, I believe, as I was told. And I'm sure
Yes.
that you can find that. However, I'd like to make a quick stop before we pick up Mr. Kessler, if we could. Roland, I'm going to have to ask you to be a little bit uncomfortable in the car, but it'll make sense once we get where we're going.
How so?
I'd rather you not know the location of the place that we need to stop at first.
Ah,
So it involves a bag over your head.
I can just close my eyes and promise
No,
that I won't
no.
look.
Sorry, that's not how this works.
I'm really good at promises.
I'll give you a gift when we get there. A good gift.
Fine.
Wonderful. To the car, please.
To the car, indeed.
Mercy kind of follows behind, like wondering if she gets the bag or not, you know? Like she doesn't really have as much of a choice as Roland does, right? So she's just kind of like, I wonder what the bag smells like.
Shame and regret.
Shame and
Yes.
regret.
A little bit of guilt.
So once we get in the car, I'll give Roland the bag. And Mercy, as you are my progeny and therefore bound to me in different ways, this place can be known to you, mainly because I own you until I let you go, and I'm going to live forever, so that's going to be a very long time. Anyway.
Did you want me to put my phone on airplane mode so I don't know where we're going?
I don't.
If I
know
do
what
that, at
means.
least.
6, Mercy, do you know what he means by this?
I do.
Grandma with technology. I love it
Can
so
you-
much.
Or
Can
he
you
could just
both-
he could just hand me his phone.
If I don't turn it on airplane mode, I'll know where I'm going. I'll know where I've been.
I presume it'll.
I
track.
don't even understand what that means.
What can?
I'll just turn it on airplane mode.
Do we have the address?
I'm not even
going?
asking. I'm sorry, what?
Do we have the address without your phone?
Whose address? Him? Yeah.
No,
I gave
We
you
spoke
his
the
address.
words
somewhere
aloud.
beforehand.
Yeah.
You have the address spoken aloud in analog format as opposed to
Yes.
digital.
Well, we will also be going to Mr. Kessler before we go to the home, so he can turn his phone back on there.
Okay.
Perfect.
So I will then tell Mercy that
I can't be turned. Blah, 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 blah.
as you are my progeny, I will allow you to know this place because we will be tied together for quite some time. 6, I don't know that I've shown you this location yet, though I'm not opposed to sharing it with Giovanni, so I have no problem with you knowing. Also, you're going to be driving, and I trust you because I trust Giovanni. And I will give 6 the address to the armory.
Okay.
I assume
Okay.
that's not vocal and aloud, so I can hear it.
No, it's on a tiny piece of paper
Mhm.
Okay.
All right.
Hmm.
So,
that I will show to 6,
okay.
and then Maggie will eat.
I just want to make sure I couldn't hear it. That was literally it.
Wow. Like she literally eats the paper.
Yep.
Nom 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 nom.
Did
Okay.
she throw it back up?
Six understands the severity of the
It's not
situation.
food.
It's not food. I can keep that shit down.
No, I'm
It's
just-
garbage. I'm a goat.
So you take a trip.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
You-
this is a trip. I'll tell you what.
You take
That's
a
not my
trip
favorite
to.
rocket ship.
Would you say? I guess it would probably be best since you designed this.
I
What is
don't
it
know that I have found any pictures that are good enough
That's
for this
fine.
place yet.
That's fine. We're just gonna describe things. You know what? I think
You've got an old warehouse picture.
I do have an
believe.
old warehouse picture of somebody's warehouse that doesn't belong to you, but we're using it.
That'll suffice for now.
Sorry, Freddy. Where is this? Man, this was a long time ago.
Apologies to spring this on you.
No,
storyteller.
it's super now. It's just we're bringing back pictures from season 1. You go to a place that looks distinctly like, well, a creepy fucking warehouse. As I adjust this a little bit.
You know, if you have a place in mind, I can probably get a picture of it. for
You
you.
probably could. It is a
The place where this would be
well-defended
located, I don't
warehouse.
think that you would want to be there in
So
real
I was
life.
about to say, I don't think you want to risk being mugged or
You'll be on a
You'll be on a
list
list.
somewhere.
You don't want to be on a
Yeah.
list. So you go to a warehouse full of security. That does
So
not
when-
contain what it contained last time we did this.
Right. So once we get there, Maggie will hop out of the SUV, the luxury SUV, and type in a PIN code. The gate will open. We will
Mhm.
go inside.
Burn.
Another PIN code will get us into the loading dock doors. Once inside, I will remove the bag from Roland's head.
Oh, fantastic! Because I was gonna start
Um,
singing things.
Once we're all outside of the SUV, you still don't have your phone. It's still on airplane mode and
That's right.
given to 6.
Oh, okay.
You all will see. You know the scene from the first Matrix when he says guns? I want
Yeah.
guns?
Lots of guns.
That's what you see. You see that. You see armored vehicles. You see basically a candy store for somebody like Mr. Kessler, probably, and he's unfortunately not here.
Fucker.
What are you talking about? It's a candy store for 6.
It is.
I was gonna say.
Yes, actually, 6. That brings up a good. As I look down to you, and I assume that you're like, Mecca.
Hmm.
I would say, 6. I do owe you for some extraordinary payments. Let's say. So feel free to take any of the accoutrement here in the warehouse, the armory. As well, Mercy, I'm not sure how familiar you are with firearms, but you're welcome to peruse.
Comfortable enough.
Roland, again, also not familiar with your firearm proficiencies, but
Minimal at best.
you're welcome to take a thing as well. Maggie will go.
What is suggested for someone who has literally almost no ability?
A pistol.
I'll let the ladies speak
Yeah,
to you
I'm
on
just-
that. I'm not much one for shooting myself. And I will go into a locked,
Mhm.
secured room with like a vault
In
area.
the creepy warehouse full of guns. There's an
In the
even
creepy
deeper
warehouse full of guns.
security
There's
level.
a creepier room. Type in yet another PIN code, and I will go in and I will tell you what I am picking up in DMs.
Oh.
Is that a fucking lightsaber? We're gonna get sued.
No copyright violations in this one. We're good. So, you load up. What are people taking here?
DM, real quick.
Yeah, hit me.
Murphy's vaguely proficient with a couple of guns.
That's fine.
Is that okay?
I mean, the rules basically don't deal a whole lot with, well, how many...
More flavor.
It boils down to how much dice you get when you're trying to fire a gun as how proficient you are. That's where it comes down to. The specific types of guns are used in generalizations as well, depending on how heavy a firearm you decide to pick. Most things in Vampire 5th Edition, to you and anyone in our audience tonight, weapons and armor generally come in light, medium, and heavy. Vampires have basically no reason to wear armor, because your undead bodies are better than any armor that humans can wear. But if we're talking about light, medium, and heavy weapons, I would say that a 22 pistol, according to the rules, counts as like a light one. Medium guns are anywhere from like a 308 rifle, like a 9mm pistol, shotgun at effective range. Heavy firearms would be like a 12-gauge shotgun at close range and the good old 357 Magnum,
Gotcha.
which add damage atop of your attack rolls at +2, +3, and +4 respectively. Which basically means if you shoot someone, they're going to hurt more.
Sure. Mercy will pick up a couple, 2 9mm pistols.
2
and
9mm, easy enough in this
a couple of mags.
smorgasbord of fun. Roland, are you looking for any of this stuff? I'm sure there's also a few like what would you say, like a few like combat knives, maybe a machete.
Oh, yeah, it's basically a pick your own adventure of weaponry.
Perhaps a big modern day sledgehammer if you're feeling extra frosty.
Does he strike you as a sledgehammer kind of guy?
He can strike
Strike
anyone
me
he
as,
wants
like,
with
a-
anything he wants.
You're gonna have one of those guns that shoots around corners, you know?
Yeah,
right?
those are
Gonna
things.
bend bullets.
You curve your bullet, yeah.
No, something pistol,
Take a pistol.
probably a 45,
6 shooter?
something. No, 45. Yes, he's
Because he
6 shooter.
remembers the song. You're welcome. So 45, I would say that would be, you both get that would be medium guns. So you guys can just write on your character sheet in your notes section, pistol parentheses medium, and then annotate a little +3. And that's your stuff.
As
got-
Maggie comes out of the secret room,
Let you back in.
I sent it to you.
Okay, I don't want
I,
to know. I want to see what they see. I'll
They
look at that
see
later.
they don't see anything.
You don't see anything. It's just Maggie.
It's Maggie.
All right.
Well, she's got her normal leather coat on. She's got more street-esque clothes, though you can tell that her pants probably cost as much as a used vehicle.
Mhm.
And as she comes out of the back room, she goes, "Should we take a gift from Mr. Kessler? I recall him having a very distinct pistol. So perhaps a pistol. I'm not very familiar. I mostly put this together for others.
So 6 as a note, according to Vampire Chat here, apparently you would have been texted from James Kessler's phone his position. If you wish to ask him preference of weapons, you could. As you just have Maggie's phone.
Okay.
You don't actually have to type it. Would you be asking him? And if so, what would be the
I'd
response?
be. Pretty much asking him what his favorite flavor of weapon would be.
Is that what you text me?
Yes.
I text back, no need.
There you go.
Okay.
Very well. Well, with that, I do believe one of my armored trucks would be a little too conspicuous, and probably not needed, now that I'm thinking about it. So back into the SUV.
I mean, the thing with
Roland?
the armored truck went so well last time.
Oh, these armored trucks, by the by, have plush seats inside. They're slightly better than the ones before because the guy before, I like to one-up him. It's fun. So, a bit of a rivalry there. Back into the SUV, and we will be on our way to pick up Mr. Kessler. Roland, bag back on the head, please. Thank you.
I sent you a DM, Tog, by the way. Did you see it?
Did now. Oh. Okay. That's okay. Yeah. Cool. That's something to be proud of.
Oh, it was a dick pic.
I guess. Sort of. But in a different kind of way. So you head back out on the road. James Kessler's right where he said he would be.
I'm wearing a hoodie underneath a hoodie underneath a kind of a puffy vest. The hoodie is over up and over my head. I'm wearing heavy canvas pants and my boots. I'm also wearing gloves, and I'm carrying a large duffel bag in my left hand.
Excellent.
Mercy waves at the window, just like a little casual, like before she really thinks too hard about it.
Can I take the bag off?
No.
Ironically, you actually do see Roland's head in a bag before you get into the car, James. Probably something that has been coming a long time.
Probably
Also,
deserved it.
Before we go any further, I have to say, of all the things you sent me here, Kiso, my favorite's the last one. The last thing in the paragraph.
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
I think I have an idea, but
Just want to let you know I'm very angry.
Yeah, I expected as much.
Mr.
So-
Kessler, welcome to the group
Oh.
this evening.
He's here. Take off the bag.
I kind of tossed my bag in unceremoniously into kind of the center area.
It's a
I kind
loud
of grunt,
thump.
and I grunt in response to what you have to say. I give you a terse nod, but I don't really say anything, and I completely ignore the other idiots.
We do hope to find the reason behind these disappearances of these students, and we have ample reason, based on Roland's research, to suspect this
I kind of
teacher.
glance a little bit over my shoulder towards that idiot's way.
He can't see you right now. There's a bad
No,
guy
I
there.
took the bag off
Oh,
as
okay.
soon as I heard James's voice.
What did you ask? I'm sorry. I as a player, I don't remember what you asked. Sorry.
I didn't ask any.
I thought I asked.
No, I was just informing that we have ample reason to believe that this could be the reason that the students are disappearing.
I nod and don't really say anything. My jaw tightens a little bit as I grit my teeth, and I say, after a bit, I say, anything? Is there any other information?
None that I believe that you'd want to concern yourself with.
I turn, I nod, and I turn over my shoulder to Roland. I go, give me the information you have on him.
Teacher, multimedia.
I pull out, you
last
see me pull out
three-
a pad and a pencil, and I start writing.
Last 3 weeks, 4 students have gone missing.
I should-
He invited them over to his house where we're going, and they haven't been seen since.
What's his reputation?
The reputation that you found, he seems like an average teacher. He seems fairly well liked by the department and his students.
It seems nice. Probably a front. Lives at
Is
the
he-
end.
is he-
Lives at the end of a road.
Is he tenured?
Yup.
Yep.
What does he teach?
Multimedia.
And probably the worst of the information that Roland has to give, that Six also found, but Roland would pick this up too. 4 names. You have the names of the missing students.
I would like to know those names.
Heather Salinas, Sean Lacey.
Where's my fucking pen?
I'll pause.
I'm writing Sharpie.
Victory!
Victory. The names of the missing students are Heather Salinas, Sean Lacey, Meade, Meade, Colleen, and Jennifer Pereira.
So that's 4 total.
Four.
Do we have any information on these students?
Not a lot.
Jennifer what?
Pereira. You
I say
you
to
can dig up the information on them if you choose to. They all have, terrifyingly and sadly, like nice, happy Facebook pages. They're very much kids that are like looking to get into technology, looking to get ahead, looking to further themselves, looking forward, very much looking forward. And you don't know if you're looking at pictures of ghosts yet or not.
I actually get up or move in the car to get in the back seat with Roland. I say, hey, I need you to look up these names,
All right.
and in the student directory, find out their profiles, find out their addresses, and what other information you can find on this book face thing.
6 already has their addresses.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm whatever.
Fantastic.
Yeah, fair.
And I'd like to make a roll if you're good with that.
What are you rolling for?
I am trying to use insight to see if I can draw connections between if there are similarities in age, type, hair, background, family, these things. The information I'm trying to find is what is connecting all these guys together. Are they all female? I'm guessing they're all female. It sounds like they're all female.
They are not all female.
They're not all female. Okay.
But if you want to make a roll, I'm gonna say.
Oh, so Don as in D-O-N, not D-A-W-N?
One of them's name is Sean Lacey. So.
Oh, Sean Lacey. I thought you said Don Lacey.
Sorry. So for the roll, and that wouldn't be hard, or that wouldn't be a difficult thing to decide. That would be investigation and wits for you.
Okay.
Three. That's a fair number of successes. Looking at it, the ages, the ethnicities, genders, they're different. It seems for sure the thing that is tying it all together is they are students of this teacher.
And their drive to better themselves.
And they are all trying to better themselves.
I asked for... Okay, I'm going to ask Roland. Can you go on that book face thing and look at their pages or whatever and see what was the last things that they talked about?
Sure. I can do that.
And at this point, I assume 6 is driving.
Yeah.
Okay.
A book of faces? What?
Right now, there's a website that basically a lot of humans go on and just update the world about everything.
You've lost me right now. Just don't talk. It's fine.
Basically, humans giving out a lot of information that they would generally keep quiet to everybody. It's very handy. Yes, very handy. So I'm pulling up all of their Facebook pages then.
Beyond the fact that they are in the same class and in the same major, not a lot of tying threads. None of them necessarily are in pictures with each other. None of them are in seem like they're even from the same place. Chicago is an interesting melting pot because there's like one of those students is one of the 4 is local, but the others are from elsewhere across the country. Not a lot tying them together beyond shared interests.
Do they vary in heights?
Absolutely. They're all over the board. You can't draw... What I'm saying is you can't draw any connections between, oh, is this person's type?
Gotcha.
Or, like, I know which way that you're going with. You're detectiving this out to see, like, serial killer style. Are they somebody's mark? Is
Yeah.
there a specific type or something? And it looks like, nah, they're all over the board, and that might be a dead end, but that actually tells you stuff in the fact that that's a dead end.
All right, I kind of tisk in frustration and annoyance, and I'd start writing stuff down in my notebook. So we can continue on if you want.
Well, on that, we've dealt with a lot tonight. It is approaching our usual stopping time, and the players always seem to surprise me with what they're going to do with the day, because, boy, this did not go the way I expected. But it's good. It's good. This is the kind of game that I love. So, with this suddenly tense scene beginning, as Six drives this SUV full of fucking vampires that are armed to the goddamn teeth to a district that is...
Speaking of that, I need to get a grill.
Yeah, you're really gonna cut off here, man? Come on.
I'm absolutely gonna cut off here.
Come on!
The path that lies ahead is shrouded in mystery. We must wait until the next week to find it.
It's
And
actually
violence.
not. I expected
And
you guys to
violence.
start this immediately today. But you had stuff going on. It is what it is. This is the game. You guys are working your plans and you're working your things, and I'm actually incredibly happy to see like this happening. This is exactly how I like to run a game. This is the sandbox in action. So I will say that is going to be a fantastic spot to pause our story until next week.
On!
I am sad because I know what pausing mid-game means.
It means that you don't get to write a downtime because you are
True.
The downtime king.
absolutely. We got
I'm the downtime queen. Excuse me.
Yeah, because there is stuff planned with this. I can't actually describe to you how excited I am for this next part. Maybe the part after that's better. I don't know.
Oh, don't do that to us.
I'm absolutely doing that. But on that note, I want to thank all my players for playing with me. You guys are the ones who fucking make this happen. And I am unbelievably thankful for you guys spending your fucking Monday nights tired as shit in Chicago and everywhere, telling silly vampire stories about how in the world are we gonna
Make this club popular.
make the club popular, handle your unfinished business, as it were, and just learn more about these characters. That's where the heart of this is. If it's just
And
like,
discover plots.
if it's just, whatever, like mission after mission after mission, nobody cares about a character. If there's more, that's where they care.